these conversations with many interesting people. Noah Sanchez in this next conversation. I've split it up into 3 parts so that we can release them once a week because the conversation was too good and it lasted for much longer than just a 1-week segment. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. Hope you enjoyed this first part of my conversation with Noah Sanchez.
At long last.
Exactly.
How you been?
I've been good. Chilling, getting ready to go back to school.
Right.
So that's a little bit stressful, especially being like big portion of my life. I feel like I've heard that like you would be such a good pastor. The way you explain verses, it's it's easy to understand and it's easy to digest. And they're like, you would do great at this. I'm like, cool, that's stressful.
Yeah.
I
Talk about responsibility.
Yeah, and so I've always kind of like avoided it. And I got a word from from the pastor's wife in the middle of church. He called me on Thursday and texted me on Thursday like while I was at work. He's like, "Hey, show up. Are you coming this Sunday?" And I'm like, "What a loaded
you
question."
better be here on Sunday.
I'm like, "Your pastor's asking you." He's like, out of the blue, "Are you going to be there on Sunday?" Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is the Lord going to do something if I'm not?
Right.
I planned on being there, but now I'm worried. Or should I not be?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about you. You need to not show up. His wife. She's like, no.
Be a reverse healing.
He's like, last night my wife had a dream, and I was like, oh. And she's like, you were in it, and it was you standing in front of like the congregation, like the church. It was a big church. He's like, and you were speaking on your like testimony.
This was
like,
not a vineyard.
This is at Vineyard. It was in her dream. I don't know where it was. It was just she just said she said I saw you on a stage in front of a large congregation.
Gotcha.
And she's like, and pastors were lined up asking you to like come to their church. And I was like, wow, that's cool. Thanks for that. I didn't hear that part till Sunday, but then like after he said that, I'm like, I should listen to like Transformation Church, like what they taught on like last Sunday. And so this is like Friday, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen.
What's Transformation Church?
Transformation Church is a church based in Tulsa. You know Michael Todd and his series Relationship Goals?
No.
Very famous for that, but Transformation Church is a church based in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's Christian evangelical, and their main thing is like to be transformed through the renewing of your soul, like through Christ. And so it's like a traditional church in that way. And then their other thing is like they want to be like hot, so humble, open, and transparent.
Cool.
So he came out of addiction as from pornography, and he had that while he was actually teaching being a pastor at the church. And once he like dealt with that, spoke about it in the congregation, everything like that, soon after he started blowing up. And there's that church got super famous and got a lot of money, and they've been sending that money all over the place to different churches, different foundations, just millions and millions of dollars into other churches and foundations to like bring up just the church community. Very famous on TikTok too.
Sick.
A lot of his clips make it to TikTok. And so right when I'm listening to like the week prior sermon, it's about Jonah and like how Jonah avoided it, but God's grace was the whale, and the whale was not judgment or punishment, but it was God's grace. And that I believe Jonah fasted in the whale for 3 days. Someone said fasted, but I had heard from them talking about like that God delivered Jonah in 1 day to Nineveh, even though he traveled for 3 days to get to Jakarta, I think it was. I may be wrong, but heard that, and I was like, wow. And then I was like, that's kind of crazy. And then I remember like Ben Youngkin calling me, and Ben Youngkin calling me Jonah as a joke throughout all of my junior high lineup. Like, you're the other guy from the Bible, Jonah. And I always hated that because I'm like, no, Noah's righteous above all. Noah was dedicated to God's work, and he always pursued what God wanted him to, and he had to start making that boat. It wasn't like one day he was like, oh shoot, my calling, let me step into that. It was like God's like, build a boat, and he's like, I gotta start now. Like and so especially one this big. So I was like, always didn't like that one, and I just like God like brought that up, and like, oh, maybe there's like an intention with that is like God has placed me in that position, or had that nickname for me, even though it bothered me. For this moment to be like, hey, you've been walking away from this. You haven't realized you've been kind of acting like Jonah. You have. So school,
Yeah.
ministry,
No,
intimidating,
yeah, right.
intimidating, but it definitely feels like it's time.
What do you mean?
Like it's time for me to start.
Time, gotcha.
Yeah.
I heard tithe. And I was like, what?
It's tithe. It's my tithe
It's
to the
tithe,
Lord.
yeah. No, yeah. The whole like, I've definitely found that a lot of jokes have, whether they're just straight up jokes and just messing around,
Yeah.
but a lot of them have some sort of kernel of truth in them. And like even like kind of name calling is like, I mean, even the best jokes have some version of truth in them for sure. And even names of sorts, whether they're joking or not, of like, I mean, what ethnic jokes? It's like you're making the joke that they are a certain ethnicity, and it's like either it's blatantly false and it's meant to be taken as a joke, or the joke is that they are that ethnicity.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's flat out like playing with the truth at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then that's like it's what makes them funny, and it's also like in that way like God has the opportunity to just apply them in your life.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And so I think they're like that jokes, especially the funniest ones that are truthful, based on the truth, are like when it like truly applies, right?
Oh, definitely.
It's like talking about I'm trying to think of like a good joke that just doesn't sound like intentionally extremely racist to be like, this is true, like da da da, and I'm like what was one the other day? Oh, so like I heard this joke the other day that it's wild that, or it's funny how everybody, the pyramids that are in Egypt, right, built by like they'd say like white people and slaves and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And that like that they built those and nobody believes it. Everybody believes it's
I love
aliens.
this joke.
But the one in like, but there are like pyramids in Mexico.
Yeah.
And those are built by like Mexicans, so nobody doubts that.
Nobody doubts that. Yeah.
We're hardworking.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like jokes like that where it's like, yes, it's funny because it's true. Like, yes, they are hard workers. They are going to put in the work, and nobody does question it.
Yeah. I heard there's this comedian. He was like, he saw this couple. It was an Indian girl and a Mexican guy, and they were pregnant. And he's like, "You are no doubt going to give birth to the hardest working American the world has ever seen." I'm like, that's fantastic.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh man, yeah. That I was like, dude, that's fantastic. It's so good. Oh yeah, and it's just messing around. I mean,
exactly. It's always in jokes and fun, and then sometimes it can apply. Sometimes it's a moment that like someone can call you out on something, or you can realize the intentions of something, like that. Like you can make a joke, like this Jonah one that comes up. Like, oh, in the moment I didn't like it at all, but like now like it applies. It's like, oh, that makes sense. And sometimes that can be like more direct in the moment. Like someone does something like that, and it can seem insulting. But if it's coming out of a place of love and care, like that's what makes it a joke and humorous. Is like
for sure, yeah.
Is like like if one thing I've been bad about is like Arrival, like being like I have been very tardy recently to like just events and stuff, and so like a joke that would be like what did Nate say? He said something like we were like getting ready to do something, and there was some delay that we needed. Or like it was like the timing on like a bread or making something. It's like, well, if Noah does it, it'll be done by the time he gets here or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like, or like if we start dinner now, by the time Noah arrives, it will be ready. So Noah, why don't we'll just tell him to like show up at 7 and he'll be there by 8 and it will be ready. So yeah.
No, yeah, Arrival's definitely weird for me because like, I mean, I'm also just generally late to things.
Yeah.
But also, if I'm driving there, it takes me a solid half hour, 20 minutes to get like into my car, load up, unload, and like it's such an arduous process. And I had
a de-armor and everything.
Yeah. Seriously. But I was having coffee with with Aubrey. Have you met Aubrey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the fourth or fifth person to be like, let me introduce you to Aubrey. I'm like, we've met, like we've hung out, we've chilled, like not one on one, but just like at Banner or like or with Brendan and Lauren or something like that. So
she's been around. Yeah. She's like new, but she's also, and she's been around, but at the same time she's also like kind of been elusive. Yeah. Because she's been at Hume and then like
she's kind of like the Smiths were for a while.
Yeah.
The Smiths were around, and Maya was good friends with Gloria. They're like, have you met Gloria? I'm like, yeah, Maya's like, she's come over to our house before. Like, she's hung out. Like, I know who she is. And they're like, have you met Anna? And I'm like, yeah, I've met Anna. Like,
we've hung out.
So,
it's so funny just like having different worlds cross too.
Yeah.
Of like, we were at the Madranos for a Valentine's Day dinner, and it was
okay. Continue. Continue.
Listening with intrigue.
Yeah. Listening with intrigue. Now.
ASMR.
I hate ASMR. No, it's the way that people do it is always bad too. They're like, make the most noise possible, ASMR.
But like quietly and really close to the mic.
And I hate the lip smacks. I hate hearing lip smacks.
No, not good. Mm-hmm. But there was this guy there that he had basically like planted basically every church, or at least been a part of planting basically every church in the 5 cities. And we're just like, hold up, what? You were a part of this, you were a part of this, you were a part of this, and you know my family how? And my mom was like your son's Cubbies leader? What? Like, dude, and it was just like 18 worlds of ours just collided into this one human, and we were just like, where have you been? Like it was just so weird. Shoot, there was more to that.
Valentine's Day dinner.
Dude, we had lobster. Bro.
I've not had lobster yet. I've had crab. I've had oysters and clam, but I've not had lobster.
Oysters and clam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Overhyped for sure.
Definitely.
Fried oysters, though, are bomb. It tastes like nothing though.
Just
it's like frying dough.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely not a fan of the mucus, the mucus texture. Just
I haven't like I scooped it out with a fork, which was weird. I learned that you're supposed to like scoop it out because I tried to I held it up to my mouth and I used my other hand to like scoop it with like a fork, and it was definitely weird, and it like ripped it apart even more. It's just like I was drinking like soup.
Yeah,
and I didn't get the mucusy really texture because I was like, it was basically just like liquid. Yeah, it tastes like I was eating like a thick water.
Yeah, it's like, and it almost smells more than it tastes.
Yeah,
and it always reminded me of ocean water.
Yeah, this was when we were in remember when we went to Mexico, and we went to Del Rosarita, and we were in Del Rosarita. This is the year when I was still dating Natalie. This was my senior year.
Yep,
you would have been a junior in high school. And we went, and I had Eddie had a bowl of just.
Was this the trip where Kes Yunkin got the fish with the eye in it?
I don't think Kes was old enough yet to be there.
Oh, he definitely wasn't, but he was there.
Really? I know this is the year that all the girls got head lice.
Yeah. Yeah, that was rough.
And I was like, you should talk to my mom.
Yeah. Hold on, was this was the Mama Kate trip?
This was Mama Kate, yep. And this was the year
that... Was this the trip that I took Amy?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, man.
Because I was with Natalie and you were with Amy, yeah. This is the year Caleb got cornrows and was off again on it. Yep. And then Mexico lost. Lost in the World Cup, the fourth round of the World Cup.
No.
And didn't make it, and and then everybody was just depressed.
That's where we're on the mission trip.
Yeah,
we got to serve the poor people of Mexico.
Exactly.
Their team just lost
in the hardest moment of life.
Yeah.
Mexico was so close and didn't make it. And that's the first time in like 40 years or something like that. Something ridiculous.
That they hadn't made it.
That they had made it that far.
Really?
That Mexico has not won very much.
That's so surprising because that's another stereotype is Mexicans are always very good at soccer.
And they are, but but you can't afford. They can't afford to pay their teams to go professional. So they don't have as much. I don't think they like when it comes to and also it's like when it comes to playing like a sport. I think they're such hard workers that I bet the best soccer player in the world that would have come out of Mexico was like building houses or something.
Yeah.
And he's doing that maybe in
I was
Mexico,
gonna say something,
in America.
but I was like, I'm going to let the Mexicans say this.
They're trying to achieve something, but a lot of them will go to America where you get paid a lot to play in America. Like,
gotcha.
Who's that guy who came? There was a famous soccer player like who came to America who's playing for an American team now. Because the football league pays a lot. Because Americans, we pay a lot for entertainment, for women's entertainment. Dude, well, that's just it's where the money goes. It's like who's willing to attend, who's willing to watch, and if people aren't willing to watch, like you can only get paid so much.
Yeah. Dude, I was as we were watching the Super Bowl, I was like, these guys are getting paid way too much.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was
because they're watching the Super Bowl though. They're getting paid so much.
Fair.
That's always what I think about. I'm like,
I was also napping for the first 2 quarters.
Oh, so you missed all the Taylor Swift.
Not all of it, dude.
No, never.
Not all of it. Dude, I was so mad. I don't even watch football, and I don't care that, like, there is the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift thing. And, like, best to them. Mm-hmm. Like, I hope it works, but also...
Yeah. It was very much...
We know the history. Like,
yeah.
It was mind-boggling to me how they milked that situation. And it was just like,
what?
It was
Americans
milking
situations.
Fair.
Yeah.
But it was just someone from the Chiefs scored, not even Travis Kelce, like for the winning touchdown.
It was Mahomes.
Right.
He ran it in.
But it was Mahomes to some other guy. I don't even watch football.
Yep, you're welcome.
Don't know
Those
anything.
are the 2 names.
Yeah,
Those
right.
are the 2 names I know. And the fact that there was a guy on their team that's taller than both of them. And Travis Kelce's like 6'4", 6'3".
Yeah.
And there's a dude on the team who's like 6'6".
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why did...
There's like I only know it because I was watching when they're receiving he comes up, they set up that center stage.
Oh,
and Patrick Mahomes is talking and Travis Kelce is right behind him. And right behind Travis Kelce is already a little bit taller than, Patrick Mahomes, I think he's taller than Travis Kelce by like an inch or 2. And then behind him is this dude who's like a head and shoulders taller than everybody next to him. And he's just looking over Patrick Mahomes' head. And I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
That dude's huge.
Perks of being that tall, like friggin' at the concerts and stuff. You're like,
also, everybody hates you for it too because they're just like,
oh yeah, everyone behind you hates you. But
I was thinking about that when I went to the Fluffy concert because
you went to Fluffy?
Yeah,
dude, when was that?
That was their Valentine's Day, Wednesday.
Oh heck yeah!
Yeah.
Where was that?
Inglewood.
Where's that?
Inglewood? Inglewood. Do you know where Long Beach is?
Yeah.
35 minutes inland.
Oh okay.
By 35 minutes, that's like a mile.
Yeah.
Not even like half a mile in LA traffic.
So bad.
But yeah, I went and saw him. It was pretty cool. He was very happy. Apparently because it's basically a hometown gig.
Oh, cool.
Because there's nothing in Long Beach, but like being that close to Long Beach, that is the closest like thing. And he sold out the Forum, so that was another like big milestone. But it was very cool. And I was just thinking about it because I was like sitting in the chairs. We're sitting we got the floor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And we're like 15th row back or something like that.
Who'd you go with?
My dad. I took him it was a Christmas gift to him, and then I bought him 3 tickets, and he wanted to take me and Roman. So
cool.
Yeah, but I was like thinking about that because I'm like, it's all like Filipinos and Mexicans behind me, and I'm like, I'm Mexican, but I'm pretty big, and I'm like standing there, and I'm like, oh shoot, like I bet nobody can see.
They're just like.
Good thing Fluffy was on like 2 giant screens, or 3 of them because he did the center one too.
No, yeah, and I guarantee you're not the biggest guy there.
No, no way.
You're definitely not.
Exactly. So.
No, yeah, but I'm just imagining you buy your dad 3 tickets, and he's like, "I'm gonna take my 3 best friends." Like,
I wouldn't have minded. I was like, "Hey, you take whoever you want," and then he's like, "Well, what should I take?" I'm like, "I don't know." Maya said that you should take boys. You should take either you and Uncle Marco, my Uncle Marco and Papa, or me and Roman, but she thinks that like that it would be a better boys trip. But I'm like, I was just thinking like you and mom, or like you, I could always like resell the third ticket. I just wanted to give you that opportunity.
Yeah.
And do that. And I'm like, I don't care what you do. And then he came to us like a week before and he's like, I'm taking you guys. And we're like, cool. Like I'm excited. But,
yeah.
Yeah. My mom was like, I don't care. Like, she's like, Valentine's Day is whatever. Like,
yeah,
like it's a calendar holiday to sell money. Really, at the end of the day.
That's very fair.
It's not established on anything.
Dude. Well, apparently it's Saint Valentine.
Yeah. But that guy's made up. I'm pretty sure.
He's an apocryphal.
I'm pretty sure he's like Santa Claus.
Well,
like Santa Claus is based on Saint Nick, but like
was a real thing. Yeah.
But like selling red suits with a beard and a hat is like that's founded in German, and the fact that we give presents is kind of Saint Nick, but Saint Nick gave money to pay taxes. That's what he did to help like the church be able, like the people of the church to be able to pay taxes. Yeah. And not get like
and he didn't
murdered.
Ride around on a magical sleigh with
because that's
magical reindeer.
That's like Finnish or something. Like the Finnish believe that, and like there's an African tribe that says like you get coal on your instead of like gifts around winter time. Yeah, it's like all these things. So it's like all these.
It's definitely
combined.
A melting pot for sure.
And then America's just like, well, what if we just sell it? Like, what if we make movies?
Yeah.
If it's able to be sold, we will.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it's also so funny because it's like, especially in the church of like, what's your favorite holiday? And it's like, I mean, every kid's gonna say Christmas.
Yeah, or like, their birthday.
Fair. Well, I think Christmas is probably better because it's not just them celebrating; it's the entire town.
Yeah.
Or at least any rational, like
kid.
Non-narcissistic child.
Yeah, my mom is that way. She's like, because she shares her birthday with Mother's Day, and she hates that.
No, yeah, especially as a mother too.
Yeah,
that's annoying. That's really annoying. Well, Mother's Day, like, moves around though, right? It's not.
Yeah. It's one of the days of the week. It switches between the days of the week, and my mom's birthday is always consistent. So it's always like I think Mother's Day is always like the second Thursday or like second Friday or something like that.
Random.
It's something like that. And so my mom's birthday is
Friday of every third year.
Yeah. And because there's 364 days and there's like 30 and because the days because we're on a 7 weeks like thing, and so it's an odd number of weeks and an even number of days of the year. That's why it switches around. So every year things usually fall on a different holiday or a different day, but there are certain ones that are like restricted to days. So like, or like dates. So, like obviously.
No, yeah. Christmas was on a Monday this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like what the heck?
And it'll be on a Tuesday it was technically last year, but it'll be on a Tuesday this year.
Yeah. Wait, does that mean it's going to keep moving forward?
Yeah, it always like moves. It rotates through the week. So then in like 6 years, it will be on a Sunday. And then it'll go to Monday again.
Consistent.
No, it rotates. The only one that doesn't. There's a few holidays that don't. I think it's Mother's Day and Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving's always the third Thursday in October. Not October. Well, I can't remember what. Why can't I remember what holiday or month that Thanksgiving falls in? I think it's October. Maybe it's November.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm so bad with calendar math and dates, dude. I was realizing.
I think it's November because everybody like bashes on the fact that like I'll set up my Christmas decorations.
Oh yeah,
after Halloween, and they're like, but Thanksgiving.
It's definitely a forgotten holiday for sure, and it's also so
overhyped.
It's I think it was overhyped for a long time, and now it's. Well, I guess it is kind of overhyped in the sense that it's either people definitely put too much weight on it, but in either direction.
Yeah.
And it's like they almost give it too much power.
It carries too much attention for no good reason.
Why do you say that?
I'm like, because it's either it's an argument piece most of the time.
Definitely.
And that's why I say
so highly politicized at this point. It's ridiculous. And my whole thing is like, why are you bashing people that enjoy something.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you're mad about what they're celebrating, you can do that, but don't be mad that they're celebrating. That's so dumb and so just egotistical and selfish.
Yeah.
And like it's really just a matter of you wanting to garner more attention for yourself, and you're just like, you stop having fun. It's like, okay, as soon as you say that, nobody likes you.
Yep.
Nobody likes you.
Exactly. But they choose not to say that. They just go, shame on you for not. Like,
exactly.
Shame on you for wanting to play Christmas music in November. And you're like, excuse you?
Okay. Yeah.
And they're like,
no,
shame on you for putting
that.
up your Christmas lights. And you're like, but I just want to celebrate Christmas. But Thanksgiving is still going to happen. Well, I'm celebrating Thanksgiving. It's not like I'm going to skip Thanksgiving all of a sudden. But even if I want to, I can.
Yeah. No, I definitely hear that.
It's always an argument piece, or it's like, I gotta speak to that one relative that I hate.
Yeah.
And you're like, you don't have to regret it up to the day, because then you're just gonna be like even more resentful in the moment.
For sure. I mean, whenever I say something like that, of like, hey, why'd you put your Christmas lights off? It's always a joke.
Yeah.
In my view, just because it's so dumb.
Yeah. It's a conversation piece for you, like that I've seen when you use something like that. It's like, I'm not doing this to start an argument. I'm doing this to start a conversation. In a funny,
have some fun,
ice-breaking way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I don't care if you put your Christmas lights up. Like, dude, we did take our Christmas lights down already, but I think there was one year. I don't think we've left them up all year. Mm-hmm. Which I think is better than doing this. I think we took them down in like October or something like that. It was just so dumb. It was like,
and then you're just like putting them up a month later.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like, hold on, why did we take them down now? And honestly, I love the Christmas look.
I do too.
And even at our house, like we got more Christmas lights to put along the side of our house. And our driveway is so long that it gets pretty dark.
Yeah.
Especially obviously at night. What? Dude,
mainly in the mornings at 4 a.m. when I'm staring through your window.
Yeah. There's this Neil deGrasse Tyson clip of he was just messing around, but he was like, yeah, will we ever be able to travel to the sun? He's like, yes, but only at night.
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
It's such a great joke that preys on just stupidity. Mm-hmm. It's just
and the people who ask it, you're like, come on, man.
Yeah, you're like, okay, come on, man. But yeah, like that. Yeah. That's funny. I honestly wanted my dad to leave him up.
I tried to convince my mom.
Yeah.
She said she wants to, but she it's too tacky. She's like, it's too tacky. I can't do it.
I mean, you can take down the glowing reindeer, but
yeah, that's what I say. I'm like, keep the bushes lit up, keep the trees lit up.
Yeah.
And she's like, but then it's not as special when I just put up a penguin and like a polar bear and like a Christmas
tree. A penguin
tree.
and a polar bear?
Yeah, she has like a penguin, and the penguin like tips his top hat, and the other one just sits next to him and like moves his arms a little bit. And there's a polar bear which just moves a gift from left to right. I think she has like a Minnie Mouse one too, and like another blow up or something like that. But yeah, that's what makes it Christmas. That and icicles.
Icicles are cool.
And snowflake ones,
like the icicle lights.
Yeah. No, we get them imported.
They don't last very long.
I slave over them day and night. I had to put an AC unit right behind them.
Right. Yeah. It's like slightly melted.
The front of it's melted. It's just like a hollow like needle.
Yeah. No, yeah, we had this blow ups. What is it? Darth Vader thing that was like.
Heck yeah.
It was like holding a candy cane, and it was just blown up and just sitting there. It's all chubby, and like we.
As Darth Vader
I like woke up one Sunday morning and it was just in our front yard, and I was like, "What the heck?"
Someone just dropped it.
Someone just dropped it off and put it there. Come to find out, it was. Do you remember Camden?
I know the name.
Camden Lunsford. I went to junior high and elementary school with him.
So he was at Sloka.
Yeah. But he was a part of the martial arts crew a bit.
Heck
yeah. I miss those days.
As crazy as that conversation was, wait till next week, where Noah and I discuss the meanings of stress and its utilities, bullying, and dopamine.